Elliott, of course, been battling thyroid cancer. He's went up to Kansas City for surgery, but he's back. He's feeling good, and I think the Bullpups can gain some courage from that young man.
McPherson takes on a Buhler team tonight, Steve, that is 5-11 on the season. They are in 14th place in 4A West, and to put things lightly, things have not gone the way Buhler expected this year, but this is a young team and a team that is playing a little bit differently than they were at the beginning of the year. They were taking a ton of threes early on. This team has become more balanced, and yeah, they're scoring some points. They just haven't been able to find ways to win games down the stretch, and part of that is because they are a very young team.
And they've got a great coach. You got to remember, Ryan Swanson used to be the head coach at Hutch JUCO and turned out some incredible teams down at Hutch. So the guy knows what he's doing. He's a big-time coach. They've just kind of hit a little bit of a talent deficiency down in Buhler, but they will be as well coached and be as ready for the Bullpups. I'll guarantee you, he's going to come out in some kind of 2-3 zone, 1-3-1. He's going to junk it up. I would really be surprised if he starts in a man-to-man. He could. I mean, I could be wrong. But, he knows the Bullpups are not a good three-point shooting team. I really expect a 2-3, 3-2 zone, or maybe a box of one maybe on Jake Alexander.
Our first half start is brought to you by the Community Foot Clinic, serving Central Kansas with comprehensive foot care since 1998. Steve, how about our keys to the game, presented by Alliance Agency, Inc., located on the second floor of the Warren Place?
Shoot the three ball. They got to start shooting the three ball better, and maybe this is the night they break out of that. And, of course, my pat answer, get Cody Stufflebean the ball. Get the man the ball.
Isaac LaShore, Carson Schoenhoff, Theron Cook, as well as Braden Sides and Drake Dick, the 5 starters for the Buhler Crusaders, as Jake Alexander goes up over Isaac LaShore and wins the opening tip and taps it into the backcourt to our left. Max Alexander, Kyler Hoppus, Jake Alexander, Jace Kinnamon, and Cody Stufflebean, the 5 on the floor. Immediately into the lane for Jake Alexander, who gets it back out to the perimeter. Buhler comes in at 5-11, McPherson 12-4, but when these two teams meet, the records don't matter. Cutting to the rim, left hand, shot won't go. Rebound ripped away by Cody Stufflebean, ball knocked out of bounds, and it will stick with the Bullpups underneath. That was created because Cody Stufflebean hustled after the ball, got a hand on it, and ripped it away.
And Cody Stufflebean should be able to go wild inside. They don't have a real big body to put on him.
Max Alexander inbounds from the baseline to our right, back up top for Jake Alexander. Max on the left wing, like I mentioned, 18 points against the Crusaders the last time they played. His first 3 spins in and out, and a rebound pulled down by Carson Schoenhoff. 5'11" senior for this Buhler team. The Crusaders have the ball for the first time. Coach Kinnamon said in his pregame that this is a team that's going to take their time and be very patient on offense here tonight. Isaac LaShore drives in, kicks it back out to the corner. Now to Theron Cook, loses it for a moment on the floor, steals a triple team, and gets it back out to the perimeter for Braden Sides. Their 25% three-point shooter. This time he pulls up from 2. His first shot's no good, gets his own miss, nearly stands out of bounds, fighting for it on the baseline, and now they will say,
well, there's no way you can do that. You can't go out of bounds and come back in and touch the ball. Somebody else has to touch. Yeah, that's what I thought.
And it will go back to McPherson.
And Ryan Swanson, those Skechers, those are some nice-looking shoes he's got.
It might be the coaches versus cancer week still,
could be,
where they wear the tennis shoes.
Oh, he's got some sharp tennies there.
6:50 left to go in the opening quarter. McPherson and Buhler still nobody has scored. Max Alexander on the right wing works around a screen from Jake Alexander. Left wing Kyler Hoppus down to the lane for Cody Stufflebean. Tries a pass for Jake Alexander, who was bumped, and the ball goes over his head. Taken away by Carson Schoenhoff. Dribbling in, dishes back to Isaac LaShore, now matched up on Kyler Hoppus. LaShore drives down the left side of the lane. That shot's no good, and a big rebound by Cody Stufflebean. Last time he was in this building, he had 19 rebounds. Max Alexander, a finger roll is good. As he steps in, gives him the Euro step 1-2, and a finger roll off the backboard is good. 2-0 McPherson.
Yeah, good to see Max in the open floor being very creative. There could have been a moving screen on LaShore, kind of got away with it.
Braden Sides passes over to the right wing. They have yet to get the ball into the hands of Drake Dick, who is their best three-point shooter, and lit the Bullpups up for 14 points back in December. Now, Kyler Hoppus will be called for a foul, his first team foul number 1.
And when we saw the Crusaders last time, they were a team that got the ball up and down the floor in a hurry and shot a lot of threes. It looks like they've done a 180 from that offensive tactic.
This is a Buhler team that has been great at some moments this year, but they have also really struggled in some moments, including losing to Heston. And that was a weird matchup for them to play.
And they have really struggled to score.
And they scored 26 points in that game. Drake Dick, you can't leave him open. 3 ball from the right wing is good. They leave their man on the assignment, and Buhler takes a 3-2 lead. 5:45 left to go in the first. Max Alexander works around a screen, drives in, little floater from the free throw line, and that is perfect. Max Alexander with 4. The Bullpups retake the lead as he's got all 4.
Yeah, he's really taking it to the basket tonight. It looks like he's got a nice advantage on his defender, so he could have a big night. There's a steal.
Braden Sides drives in, and it's taken right away by Cody Stufflebean. Bullpups with the basketball on the end to our right, shooting into the Buhler student section. Max Alexander, they leave him open. 3 from the top's no good. Stufflebean chases after the rebound, knocked out of bounds. They will say it will go back to the Crusaders.
Max Alexander has come out firing so far.
Seth Madron will check into the game for the first time tonight. The freshman for the Bullpups scoring 4 points a game. Only scored 3 against the Crusaders in their first meeting, as Tyler Hoppus will go to the bench. 5:10 left to go in the first. McPherson 4, Buhler 3. As the Bullpups look to win their 26th consecutive game over these Crusaders. And now a wonderful steal by Max Alexander. Into a one-on-one, probably bumped from behind and no foul called, but he'll retake the possession right at half court. Max Alexander has come to play here tonight.
Yes, he has.
Left wing for Seth Madron. Dumps it down to the block. Stufflebean loses it for a moment. Still fighting for possession. Ball nearly rolls out of bounds, and now it will as Buhler had the tailbone on the far sideline. So ball will stick with McPherson. Isaiah Hernandez checks into the game, and he was the guy that really played well against the Bullpups with 8.
He came out firing in that game down there, just a freshman.
We talked about it during the football season, but Cody Stufflebean loves to play nobody more than the Buhler Crusaders.
And I wondered how long it'd be, and here it is, 2-3 zone.
Jake Alexander tries a 15-footer from the elbow. It's no good. Rebound, Isaiah Hernandez. Up the floor for Carson Schonoff. The Bullpups match up man for man. Isaac LaShore at the top of the circle. He's being defended by Jace Kinnamon tonight, and the bus is giving up about 6 inches there to defend LaShore.
Well, he's not, he's guarded a lot of tall guys this year.
Hernandez passes back to the top for Drake Dick and nearly goes into the backcourt, but just tiptoes the half-court stripe. 4:14 left to go in the first. 4-3 McPherson leads as Buhler is very content with playing a slow-paced game like this.
Yes, they are.
Isaiah Hernandez drives and dishes into the corner. Carson Schonoff. Back to the top. Drake Dick trying to knock down his second. This one spins in and out, but an offensive rebound by Terrence Cook. Into the right corner for Schonoff. Will drive the baseline. Whips a pass into the left corner. Hernandez back to Dick. Another good look from 3. This one misses short. Rebound, Max Alexander. Now tries an outlet up the floor for Seth Madron, who is leaking to the other end. Good idea, but taken away by Isaiah Hernandez. 4-3 McPherson. 3:40 left to go in the first. Hernandez pumps on a 3 from the corner. Now back up top for Drake Dick. Dick, the 5'10" junior guard, breaks free again. He's already taken 3 3-pointers in this game, 1 for 3. Back to the top to the left-handed guard, Isaiah Hernandez. Matched up on Jace Kinnamon. Buhler really slowing things down. Hernandez on the left wing, steps back to the 3-point line, now loses it. Seth Madron dribbling into the other end, nearly fouled from behind, no foul called, and a rebound and a steal taken away by the Crusaders.
Yeah, I think Seth was measuring his steps for a dunk and and there's an easy basket for Buhler.
Down to the block, Terrence Cook scores off the window to make it 5-4 Crusaders. Max Alexander and the Bullpups go back to the end to our right. Bullpups have only taken 6 shots so far, 2 out of 6 from the floor and 0 for 2 from 3.
And back to it's 2-3 zone, and that's what I thought we would see. If I was coaching against the Bullpups, that's what I would play against them.
Also, if Steve was coaching the Bullpups, he would tell them to get the ball at Cody Stufflebean. They do there, and he has fouled and will go to the free throw line for 2. Foul is called on Isaac LaShore. That is his first and team foul, number 1 on the Crusaders.
And the reason I say get Cody Stufflebean the ball, what's he shooting from the field?
Well, he is just a cold 77 out of 102 from the field so far this season, and also has been a good free throw shooter and knocks down the first.
Yeah, he should get more shots, there's no doubt. Hoppus in now. Max Alexander will get a break.
Cooper Courtney will check into the game for the shooter, Cody Stufflebean. 5-5 the score with 2:40 left to go in the first.
Oh, Buhler has got this game in the pace they want.
Second free throw coming up for Cody Stufflebean. Playing against his favorite opponent and knocks down both, and he will get a quick breather as Cooper Courtney replaces him. And maybe the hero of that game at Buhler earlier this year, Steve, was Cooper Courtney, who came off the bench, scored 6 points, and had 4 back-to-back with a couple of steals and coast-to-coast layups. And Cooper Courtney, because of his length, because of his size, really does a good job against a matchup like this with Buhler, who's a smaller team. Isaiah Hernandez with the Crusaders trailing 6-5, drives in, floater's no good. And a rebound for Cooper Courtney using those long arms. Up the floor for Jake Alexander, who has not scored yet tonight. Jake drives the baseline, tries to dribble between his legs and crossover and loses it, but gets the basketball back and the Bullpups reset. 2:10 left to go in the first. Seth Madron on the wing. Passes back up top for Jace Kinnamon, who calls out a new play. Seth Madron to the top for Cooper Courtney. Left wing, Madron. He's not afraid to try a three. This one's left a little short. Rebound secured by the Crusaders and Taryn Cook.
Madron had 21 in 3 quarters in the JV game at 10 of 10 free throws, which is pretty astounding for him. I figured he was in good rhythm tonight. That's probably why he took that three.
Reed Scott checks into the game for the Crusaders, and he has the basketball up top. Kyler Hoppus passes to the right wing, or he's defending on the pass to the right wing for Matt Boat, a junior guard for the Crusaders. Now dribbling in, Braden Sides nearly loses it off of his shoe. 90 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Bullpups lead 6-5. Cook backing down. Stops on the left block, back to Hernandez on the wing. Bullpups trying to get this Buhler team a little more sped up.
Can't do it. They're handling the ball really well.
Hernandez passes down to the baseline, and a jump ball will be called. The possession arrow will be in favor of the Crusaders. And one thing that Coach Kinnamon talked about in the pregame is watching this Buhler team makes a lot of people say, why don't they have a shot clock in high school basketball? Because they really want to slow things down. And
yeah,
he wisely said, well, that's not going to happen for a while. But this is a Buhler team that has no problem playing at this pace.
Yeah, and again, when we played them at Buhler, they were completely opposite. So they had to, style their form due to their personnel.
1:15 left to go in the first. McPherson 6, Buhler 5. Seth Madron matched up on Braden Sides, who drives, dishes to Cook on the baseline, tries a 15-footer, that's no good, and a rebound for Jake Alexander, his first. Jake Alexander dribbles from left to right, went over 1,000 points on Friday night at Winfield. Now we'll try a three. That one misses short, goes out of bounds into the corner, and out of bounds back to the Crusaders.
Yeah, Jake just kind of seems out of sorts so far. They got to get Jake down inside. Let him go to work inside. He's got the height advantage. He may only be 6'4" tonight because he's got a haircut. So sometimes he's 6'5", sometimes he's
Grandpa
6'4".
Danny waves his arms and says, no. He is 6'5". 55.7 seconds left to go in the first. McPherson 6, Buhler 5, and with this amount of time left, Steve, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Crusaders try and hold for one.
I wouldn't either. And again, the Bullpups have got it. They got to make some baskets so they can get into their pressure defense and get this game into more of a trap meet.
They first have to get the ball. Max Alexander defending on Isaiah Hernandez, who they were giving him his left side, and he drove for a moment. Back up top, Drake Dick working on Jace Kinnamon. Dick steps in, back out to the left corner for Sides. Sides dribbles behind his back, dangerous pass almost taken away. Down to 25 seconds left to go in the opening frame. 6-5 McPherson.
Yeah, and here's Ryan Swanson say one shot. Great game plan for the Crusaders. They know talent-wise they just don't match up. This is almost the old-fashioned stall game you used to see back in the 60s and 70s that were very prevalent.
Down to 7 seconds left to go in the first. Drake Dick dribbling down the left side, kicks out left corner. Hernandez a three for the lead, no good. Rebound tipped out by Cody Stufflebean. Down to 1 second left. Jace Kinnaman's full court shot is no good, and that will do it for quarter number one here inside the Roundhouse. A very slow pace first quarter as the Bullpups lead the Crusaders 6-5 as we start quarter number two. Back in 30 seconds, listening to Bullpup basketball on 96.7 FM KBBE. Start of the second quarter inside the Roundhouse. Jim Joyner, Steve Sell, 96.7 FM KBBE, or for those of you listening at MidKansasOnline.com. The Bullpup boys lead the Crusaders of Buhler 6-5 at the beginning of the second quarter. Bullpup basketball brought to you by RC Heating and Cooling, your local carrier dealer in McPherson with more than 100 years of experience. Also brought to you by Jim LeDuc and Galen Shields of State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, Jim LeDuc and Galen Shields of State Farm are there. Bullpups with their original starting five on the floor to begin quarter number two. And Steve, what a strange first quarter because Buhler really slowed this tempo down, and the Crusaders actually took more shots. They were 2 of 9 from the field. McPherson was 2 of 8.
Yeah, the Bullpups shot 25%, and they were the better shooting team. The two teams combined didn't even get to 50%.
Jake Alexander has yet to score here in this game for McPherson. Max Alexander with 4, and Cody Stufflebean with 2. Both of those at the free throw line.
Get Jake down inside. Let him go to work.
Buhler shows a man-for-man after being in a 2-3 zone a lot of that first quarter. Jace Kinnamon works around a screen. Hands off right wing, Kyler Hoppus. Trying to work Jake Alexander over to the right corner. They get it to him. Being defended by by Kahalovi McDowell, who just checked in. Jake Alexander with a spin move and finish with his left hand. Nice take and a nice finish there. Up to 1,020 points in his career. Now great defense by Jace Kinnamon on the other end. Knocks the ball out of the hands of Drake Dick, but the Crusaders will keep it on the baseline.
Yeah, let Jake just get the ball, get down inside, and do his thing, and weave a little magic, and easy basket there for Jake.
Checking into the game is Carson Schoenhoff in the spot of freshman guard Isaiah Hernandez. Crusaders going to the basket to our left in their road black uniforms with maroon numbers.
Bullpups need to get this game in a little more of a lead, get Buhler out of this slow-down offense.
Drake Dick will take the inbounds pass from the baseline, grabs it on the left wing, a step-back contested three. This one's way off to the right side, rebound bouncing around, nearly secured by Kyler Hoppus, grabs it and throws it back in, and now grabbed by Cody Stufflebean. Bullpups can run. Max Alexander stepping in, passes out to the corner, and a charge will be called on Max Alexander. Had a nice move, but nice position there by the Crusaders, and Max will pick up his first.
Yeah, he needs to give it up just a little bit earlier. He was going to do that Euro move again, but good defense by the Crusaders took that away and should have just stopped and kicked.
7:05 left to go in the second quarter. McPherson 8, Buhler 5. Drake Dick will work around a screen, driving down the right side off the backboard. Too easy there for Drake Dick as he worked right around the screen, drove into the lane, and kissed it off the backboard and good. 8-7, McPherson leads.
Yeah, no help defense that time.
Jake Alexander, good look from the top of the circle, a three. That's no good. What a rebound and finish inside by Kyler Hoppus as he grabbed the ball over his head and in midair dumps it back in. What a finish.
And I'm putting a star by that one.
My goodness.
That might be my play of the game.
Dumping it down to the baseline. Drake Dick kicks out, right corner. Braden sides a three for the tie, and it spins in and out. Strong rebound, Cody Stufflebean. Bullpups can run. Up three. Chase Kinnamon steps in. A floater is no good, but a charge will be called going back the other way.
I didn't think the defender got there. Chase kind of turned to the side. Chase not very happy with that call. I don't blame you. I just didn't think that the defender established himself.
Chase will step out. That is his first foul, team foul number 3 on the Bullpups with 6:19 left to go in the second.
And that could have put the Bullpups up 5 and maybe, got Buhler out of this slow-down, methodical pace they're playing. But looks like Drake Dick wants to go. The rest of them are going slow, but he wants this game sped up.
Drake Dick on the right wing. He is not afraid to shoot, to say the least. Braden sides in the corner, picks up his dribble, back out to Collevi McDowell as he hands off back to sides on the right wing. He's matched up on Max Alexander. Side spins in. Back to McDowell. Stops at the free throw line, now being defended by Jake Alexander. Saw a little bit of McDowell in the football season. A good wide receiver for the Crusaders. Drake Dick drives in. Great defense by Seth Madron. Rebound on the miss up the floor. Kyler Hoppus hesitates. Goes in off the backboard and good. Kyler Hoppus with 4 points on back-to-back buckets. And the Bullpups lead by 5.
Yeah, that's what they got to do. They got to open up a little bit of advantage and speed Buhler up.
Braden sides with a nice move, drives in off the window, no good, but he is fouled. And we'll see who they call this on because that'll put sides to the free throw line for 2.
Oh.
Actually on Jake Alexander, his first.
Wow. Okay.
So that's his first, team foul number 4, 5:26 left to go in the first half. And Braden sides will go to the line for 2. And his first free throw is no good. Well, Steve, it makes sense that Kyler Hoppus would have a good game here tonight as he had a terrific career against the Buhler Crusaders.
Yes, he did. He threw some big numbers.
With 3 wins over the Buhler Crusaders. Not very many McPherson quarterbacks probably could ever say that. As the second free throw is good from Braden Sides. 1 for 2 at the stripe there.
Mound Ridge girls, a 54-38 win over El Saline tonight.
There you go. 12-8 McPherson leads with 5:15 left to go in the second. Max Alexander, top of the circle, being defended by Braden Sides. Back out to Kyler Hoppus. Jake Alexander, Cody Stufflebean, Seth Madron, Max Alexander, and Kyler Hoppus. They'll lob it to the backside. Jake Alexander's alley-oop won't go in. He had to switch it to his left hand, and a rebound pulled down by Terrence Cook.
Yeah, but a really good pass by Max Alexander that time, right on the money.
Isaac LaShore dribbling in, floater off the window, no, and a nice rebound by Kyler Hoppus as he elevates his second board of the game. Jake steps in, shot off the backboard's no good, but they will call a block on Drake Dick. The Buhler fans are not happy about it. Jake Alexander going to the line for 2.
Well, that was the exact same play with Jace Kinnamon. So I think the Bullpups are going to be happy with that call.
I think they will too. Just team foul number 2 on the Crusaders as Dick picks up his first.
Ryan Swanson obviously not very happy though.
First free throw for Jake Alexander is up and good. Jake now up to 3 points tonight. His first attempts at the free throw line.
And I'm guessing Braden Sides is the son of assistant coach Kyle Sides because you can see the resemblance. Kyle, one of the really good guys in the coaching profession. Second
free throw for Jake Alexander, trying to give the Bullpups a 6-point lead, and does. McPherson 14, Buhler 8, 4:45 left to go here in the second. The Bullpups led 6-5 at the start of this quarter, and so far have been in control thanks to very good defense. Isaiah Hernandez passes out to the perimeter, almost a bad pass as it almost went wide of Carson Schonoff. Coach Kinnamon said about this week and the rest of this season, they have got to lock it in defensively, and so far tonight, Steve, they've done that.
Yeah, they really have. I mean, you've only given up 8 points, and you're great play by Madron
as he dumps the ball into the backcourt, had 2 near steals, working on Buhler's best player, Drake Dick. Remember, that's a freshman matched up against one of the better players on this Buhler team. Carson Schonoff gets open, tries a 3. That's no good, and a nice rebound again, a man-sized rebound for Cody Stufflebean, his 4th. Max Alexander hesitates, dumps it into the lane, and Jake Alexander finishes with his left. Great timing from the Cousins there, and a timeout taken by the Crusaders. McPherson has doubled up Buhler with 3:59 left to go in the second. Bullpups 16, Crusaders 8.
What a terrific look by Max Alexander. You know, you can tell they probably played a few times together on the playground because that was just a terrific cousin play.
3:59 left to go in the second, and the Bullpups lead by 8. And Steve, this is the pace that McPherson wants to play, where they're getting easy looks. For some reason, this team has still really struggled from three-point, whether it's tonight or at any point this season. But this team doesn't need to shoot three-pointers. They're so good at taking the ball right to the basket. And Jake Alexander has been great in the second quarter with 6 points, 4 of them at the rim and then 2 points at the line.
Yeah, the Bullpups without a 3. They took 4 in the first quarter and didn't get any to go, so they've just gone to the power game here. And Cody Stufflebean getting some man-sized rebounds.
3:59 left to go in quarter number 2, and the Crusaders have the basketball out of their own timeout. Buhler going from right to left. Bullpups with the 5 starters on the floor, with the exception of Chase Kinnamon, who's on the bench, and the spot of Seth Madron is on the floor. Jake Alexander matched up on Isaac LaShore. He'll drive, kick out. Drake Dick, a 3 from the corner is good, and Seth Madron was face guarding him there for a moment, let him off for just a second, and that's all the space that he needs.
Yeah.
As Drake Dick's got 8.
Maybe they go with that face guarding that Taylor Robertson's been seeing for OU, where they don't even care what the other players are doing. All they do is get right in front of Taylor and deny her the ball.
Great answer for the Crusaders. Bullpups lead 16-11. Into the lane, Max Alexander facing a 2-3 zone. Left corner, Jake Alexander a 3, and knocks it down. Nothing but net right in front of the Buhler student section, 19-11.
And Jake is really catching fire here in this quarter.
He's got 9 points, all of that here in this quarter. 3:10 left to go in the second. Nice pass down to the block for Taryn Cook, who stands up after falling to the ground, and he is called for a travel. Seth Madron will check out of the game. Jace Kinnamon will pop back in. Nobody really in any foul trouble for McPherson or for Buhler either. Isaac LaShore has 1, Drake Dick has 1, so just 2 team fouls on the Crusaders. 14 fouls on the Bullpups. Max Alexander with 1, Kyler Hoppus with 1, Jake Alexander with 1, and Jace Kinnamon with 1.
And basically a 6-man rotation for the Bullpups tonight.
Back to the 2-3 zone, it looks like, here for the Crusaders. They'll pass into the left corner for Kyler Hoppus. Max Alexander back at the top. 19-11, McPherson leads. Hoppus dumps it into the lane. Stufflebean drives and kicks. Jake Alexander trying to make it 2 for 2. That's no good. Offensive rebound, Cody Stufflebean got bumped on the putback, and that's no good. Rebound, Isaac LaShore to the other end off the backboard and gets the roll. Isaac LaShore with his first basket, the team's leading scorer at 11 per game, makes it 19-13.
You just feel like the Bullpups are dominating this game, but then you look at the scoreboard, they're only up 6.
Kyler Hoppus back out to the perimeter. Jace Kinnamon, 19-13, 2:20 left to go in the second. Bullpups leading. Facing this 2-3 Buhler zone.
Cody Stufflebean should be able to get to the high post. Jake's the bus. Ooh.
He steps into a 3 and misses this one short, and this one will go back to the Crusaders.
Jace really didn't want to shoot that ball, and then it was too late, and he pulled the string on it, and that's a shot he can hit. There's no reason for him not to have confidence shooting that ball.
3 out of 10 from the three-point line so far this season is the bus. 2:08 left to go in the first half. 19-13. McPherson leads on the boys' side. The girls already with a 62-27 win tonight. And
Buhler's gotten the game back in the pace they like. They've gotten it slowed down a little bit since they've gotten a little closer.
Left wing, pumping on a 3 and driving is Taden Hawkinson, who scores on the left side. Hawkinson with his first basket. He has not played a lot of games recently. Only played in 6 games this season due to an injury. Left wing, Jake Alexander being defended by Matt Both. Back to the top, Kyler Hoppus. They leave him open. They'll try a 3, spins in and out. Rebound nearly grabbed by Cody Stufflebean, but pulled down by Isaac LaShore.
Yeah, but he can make that shot. But again, the Bullpups' 3-point shooting has just been absolutely frigid for quite a while now.
Isaac LaShore drives in, kicks it back out to the corner. McDowell, shot up over the top of Cody Stufflebean, no good, but gets his own miss. Dumps it off Isaac LaShore, and he scores. And a timeout taken by Coach Kinnamon with 1:15 left to go in the second quarter. And all of a sudden, Buhler on a little 6-0 spurt, and they're back to within 2.
Yeah, and you know, this point in the season, you don't want to be regressing, but the last 3 games, the Bullpups have taken a step backwards. They've just not played the way they did at Andale and in the tournament. And again, it's the three-point shooting that's really hurting this team right now, because they're going to start seeing a lot of zone here right at the end of the season. They got to start knocking some shots down.
They are 1 out of 9 from 3 so far tonight, and 6 out of 10 on 2s as they continue to try and work the ball inside. But Buhler knows the scouting report. They're sitting in a 2-3 zone, and they are making the Bullpups shoot it from 3, and that's been a great strategy so far tonight.
Yeah, I'd like to see Max Alexander penetrate and dish, get to the basket, because he's got the ability to do that. But Bullpups were sitting pretty at 19-11, and now they have given up 6 points in a row.
19-17 with 1:11 left to go in the first half. McPherson out of the timeout, going to the end to our right. Kyler Hoppus, Jake Alexander, Jace Kinnamon, Cody Stufflebean, and Max Alexander, the 5 on the floor. Back up to the top for Jake. He has 9 points, all of that here in the second frame. They get it to him on the right wing. Pumps, drives the baseline, stops on the block, kicks it back out up top. Hoppus left corner, thought about a 3. Now trying to find Stufflebean in the lane. They'll pull it back out and reset with 50 seconds left to go in the quarter. Stufflebean in the lane, nearly travels. Probably should have been called for one.
He did travel. Now he got a charge.
And now he throws up a shot with the left hand and gets the roll. Almost could have been a double dribble as well. Cody says, I don't care. 4 points for Stufflebean.
Cody had about 4 turnovers in that series, and none of them were called.
30 seconds left to go in the half. 21-17. Bullpups trying to get a stop here and take a lead into the halftime break. Matt Both on the wing, trying to drive the baseline. Cut off nicely by Jace Kinnamon. Down to 20 seconds left to go here in this opening half. 21-17 McPherson. They shot 40% from the floor. 8 out of 20. The Crusaders are 7 out of 20. Isaiah Hernandez now with 10 seconds left to go in the half. Drives down the left side, and a big-time rejection from Jake Alexander. Down to 7 seconds left. Stufflebean leaking to the other end. Right hand off the backboard, no. Rebound tips out in the corner. Hoppus, a 3 at the buzzer is no good. And that will do it for half number 1 here inside the Roundhouse, as it ends with a 40 and a big-time Jake Alexander block. The Bullpups lead it by 4 points at the halftime break here, Steve. And it was a strange first half again, because you really felt like the Bullpups were the much better team in that half, but then you look up and they just lead by 4.
Yeah, they let some shooters go, and I'm not quite sure what we got going on here, but they let some shooters go, and they made them pay.
21-17 is the Bullpups lead the Crusaders at the half. We'll step aside and come back on our Prairie Land Partners halftime show here in just a moment and hear from McPherson girls coach Chris Strathman. We'll do that in 1 minute. You're listening to Bullpup Basketball on 96.7 FM KBBE. 21-17, the McPherson boys lead Buhler at the halftime break. And Steve Sell, this is a McPherson team that is trying to close out on its 26th consecutive win over these Buhler Crusaders, but they've got some work to do tonight in order to make that happen.
Yeah, it was a very strange half. Again, we talked about how it seemed like the Bullpups were just in total control in the half, but then you look at the scoreboard, they're only up 4. I mean, they're obviously the more talented team, and anybody doing the eyeball test can see that. But Buhler has played very hard and very smart. They have played that 2-3 zone, and the Bullpups, I don't know what they're going to do to improve their outside shooting, but they're just not knocking anything down from the arc.
As we get ready to start this second half, our second half start is brought to you by the Community Foot Clinic, serving Central Kansas with comprehensive foot care since 1998. The Bullpups with a 21-17 lead and trying to finish. Steve, I think we probably sound very repetitive with that, but the key with this team this year has been finishing games down the stretch. And of recent, they've been very good at finishing games down the stretch, and tonight is one that they very badly need to finish strong down the stretch.
I think what they need to do is get on about a little 6-0 run to start this half, because if they continue to play this slowdown game, that works right in the favor of Buhler.
Crusaders start with the basketball here in half number 2, and they will now go to the bench to our right. Max Alexander, Jake Alexander, Cody Stufflebean, Kyler Hoppus, and Jace Kinnamon, the 5 on the floor, immediately dumping it down to the block as Taryn Cook scores for the Crusaders and makes it a 2-point game.
And that was just really bad defense by the Bullpups there.
Max Alexander drives the baseline, kicks it out right corner. Hoppus thought about a 3, back to Max. Open look from 3. This one hits off the top of the backboard and goes out of bounds and back to Buhler.
I've never seen Max shoot one basically behind the backboard before. He's smiling about it. I don't know if the ball slipped out of his hand or what, but, boy, don't need that.
Not the ideal start for this second half as the Bullpups lead by 2. Braden Sides dribbles in, kicks it back out to Carson Schoenhoff for the Crusaders. Schoenhoff as well as Isaac LaShore, Braden Sides, Drake Dick, and Taryn Cook, the 5 starters on the floor for the Crusaders. Back to Dick, left corner, a 3 for the lead. It's good. And that is the guy that you cannot leave open, Drake Dick with 11. And just like that, Buhler with a 5-0 run, they take the lead.
And they're 11-2 run since the end of the half.
Jake Alexander to the right wing for Jace Kinnamon as the Bullpups try to retake the lead here on this possession. Buhler sitting in a 2-3 zone. Max on the left wing, into the lane. Cody Stufflebean puts it on the floor, drives and kicks. Back to Max Alexander, who thought about a 3, now crosses the court to Jace Kinnamon. Back up top, Hoppus, left wing. Max Alexander pumps on a 3. Drives and kicks again. Jace Kinnamon left open, tries a 3 from the wing, and it is good. 4 for 11 on the season from 3 as the bus gives the Bullpups the lead by 2.
And I'm sure Buhler is fine with that shot because he just doesn't shoot it very much.
Their second made 3 of the night, just 2 out of 11. Now Braden Sides loses it on the baseline. Cody Stufflebean falls to the floor to try to keep it alive, and it will stick with the Crusaders on the baseline to our right.
Quick hands by Max Alexander. I thought we were going to get a turnover maybe.
Crusaders will inbound on the baseline. 6.5 to go in the third. 24-22, McPherson retakes the lead, and now they will call a push, I believe, on Jake Alexander on the inbounds instead on Jace Kinnamon. That is his second and team foul number 1.
And every time Jace gets a foul, it's like he can't believe that he was called. He has some great facial expressions.
Braden Sides will inbound for the Crusaders as Kinnamon matches up on Drake Dick. They're trying to run him into the corner and get the ball to him, but instead they'll have to inbound up to the top. Dribbling on the right wing is Carson Schoenhoff. Passes to the left wing now for Braden Sides. Sides drives. And now they will call a hold, I believe, on Jace Kinnamon away from the ball, and they will. So Kinnamon picks up back-to-back fouls. That's his third and team foul number 2.
Yeah, and I think now we just got a technical somewhere, and I think it's on, I'm not sure.
It's on Jace.
That's 4 then.
That will be his 4th personal foul, and it was a very short whistle.
I don't know what he said, but Coach Kinnamon is really, I don't know what Jay said, but it was quick.
Carson Schoenhoff will go to the free throw line for the technical free throws with 6:17 left to go in the third. First one is up and good and makes it a 1-point game.
And Jace is done for a while, so 4 fouls. And Coach Kinnamon really not happy with that technical call.
Second one for Schoenhoff for the tie is good. So Schoenhoff knocks down both.
And in a close game, you can't get a technical in a close game like this. You just can't do it. And I know, you know, Jace has kind of been given the I can't believe you call that on me look, so he obviously said something because they're not going to give you a technical just for a look.
24-24 with 6:17 left to go in the third as the Crusaders get the basketball back after the technical. Braden Sides drives in, tries to find Drake Dick on the left wing, who's now being defended by Seth Madron. They have to keep a hand in the face of Drake Dick, who stutters, drives and kicks. Braden Sides thought about a corner 3, now drives the baseline. Dumps it off, Taryn Cook 15-footer for the lead. That's no good, but an offensive rebound for Carson Schoenhoff. And nearly loses it out of bounds into the corner. Drives the baseline, tries to dump it into the lane, now nearly stolen. Drake Dick gets it back for the Crusaders, back to LaShore in the corner. LaShore works around left wing, a 2-pointer from the elbow is no good, and a rebound for Jake Alexander as the Bullpups survive. Tyler Hoppus and the Bullpups tied up with the Crusaders 24-24. Jake Alexander to the left wing for Max Alexander. They're trying to give him some space. He's trying to bait them into bringing it out on the defensive pressure. Into the lane. Jake Alexander goes right to the basket, kicks it out. Left wing, a 3 is good! Max Alexander knocks down the triple, his first of the night. He's got 7 points, and the Bullpups retake the lead by 3.
And now they got to get a stop. They're not doing a good job at all on defense. They've been not alert at all. And Madron, almost a steal by Madron.
That's Braden Sides, lost it for Olin. Back into the left corner, Carson Schoenhoff thought about a 3. Nice hedge on the defense, though, by Kyler Hoppus. Madron matched up with Drake Dick, who is a pure scorer. And now a steal by Seth Madron into a 2-on-1. Madron dribbles in, dumps it off. Jake Alexander misses the layup as it hits the bottom of the rim. And a rebound for the Crusaders.
I don't know what Jake was thinking there. I think he was going to dunk it. And man, you can't do that. You've got to just make the easy play. Hoppus coming out. Jake, no. Stufflebean coming out.
As Sam Pyle and Cooper Courtney check into the game.
We haven't seen Sam all night.
And this is his first appearance of the game. 27-24, McPherson leads.
That would have been a 5-point lead, and I think he was gathering himself to maybe dunk it. And
I think he just got a little too far underneath the basket.
Yeah.
And so when he went up, he had nothing but the rim above him.
Yeah. I'll tell you, this has not been an alert performance by the McPherson High boys tonight. They've just not been sharp.
Isaiah Hernandez dribbles to the left wing. They go to the back door. Drake Dick thought about the reverse layup, kicks it out into the right corner, and they will say Taden Hawkinson's heels were on the sideline right in front of Coach Ryan Swanson. The ball goes back to McPherson.
Coach Kinnamon wants a word with Jake Alexander, and Coach Kinnamon got a haircut here not too long ago. He doesn't have much hair, so he's a little red on top. You could fry an egg on his hair right now.
Bullpups with a 3-point lead and 4:31 left to go in the third. Trying to finish strong here tonight.
And Madron has got to go for a long time because Chase Kinnamon with 4 fouls.
To the right wing for Max Alexander. Drives the baseline. Pulls it back out at 15 feet. Cooper Courtney now passes to the left wing. Madron back to the top for Sam Pyle. Bullpups trying to take a 2-possession lead. Jake Alexander now dumps it off into the lane. Sam Pyle going to work, turns around in the lane and gets the roll. Sam Pyle with a wonderful finish. His first basket of the night, and the Bullpups lead by 5.
You know, Sam seems to hit. He doesn't score many baskets, but when he does, they always seem to be very important times in the game.
Isaac LaShore and the Crusaders back to the end to our right, over halfway through the third quarter. McPherson 29, Buhler 24. This is the style of game that Buhler loves to play, and not only loves to play, but always plays. They do not play high-scoring basketball games. Taden Hawkinson's 3. Misses off to the left side. A rebound for Seth Madron. Madron trying to push the tempo. Dribbling in. Dumps it off. Cooper Courtney. Left block. Absorbs all sorts of contact. But the tip back is good by Jake Alexander. Sam Pyle. Sam Pyle. Big basket. And now Max Alexander fouls Isaiah Hernandez from behind.
And they better be careful.
And I thought it was Jake Alexander that tipped it in. And we'll see what they decide to do with that one. But I thought it was Jake Alexander that tipped it back in.
And I think Coach Kinnamon, he got Max out of the game because I think he was worried about a technical foul. I think this crew's gotten a little sensitive to the Bullpups' body language when they call fouls because Jace Kinnamon got a tee, and they were giving Max the second look there.
31-24 as the Bullpups lead the Crusaders. 3:15 left to go in the third. We'll give the basket there to Jake Alexander, Steve, because I'm pretty sure it was him that tipped it in.
I thought it was, too. They yelled Sam Pyle on the PA.
Taryn Cook tries an 18-footer and knocks it down from just beyond the free throw line. He's got 6, and Buhler immediately responds and gets back into the scoring column. 2:50 left to go in the third. Bullpups leading by 5 and trying to hang on and finish strong here tonight against their rivals. Right wing Cooper Courtney. Facing again this 2-3 Buhler zone. Jake Alexander dribbles to the wing. Back up top, Kyler Hoppus. They'll swing it out of the left side. Cooper Courtney thumps it inside. Sam Pyle puts it on the floor once. Hesitates, draws contact, almost gets the and one to go. But instead, Sam Pyle will go to the free throw line for 2 on the foul there on the Crusaders. Foul is called on Isaac LaShore. His second and team foul number 1 of the second half.
Really nice pump fake by Pyle to get the defense off the floor, and then he just kind of went into him. And now Sam could just knock down a couple free throws. We haven't seen him hardly shoot any free throws this year. And
he's taken 4 on the season and misses the first.
Yeah, he has no arch on the ball on that first one.
That is just the 3rd team foul called on the Crusaders tonight. First one of the second half, as Isaac LaShore has 2 of them for Buhler. The other foul was called on Drake Dick, so he has 1. Second one for Sam Pyle. Nothing but net. Sammy with 3. He goes 1 for 2 at the stripe there, and the Bullpups lead by 6.
Need a stop here and then another basket, then I think you get Buhler sped up.
2:25 left to go in the third, 32-26. To the right wing as Buhler tries to get an answer here. Reed Scott with the basketball. Back to Matt Boat. Dribbles in, back out to the top for Isaiah Hernandez. A very young roster for Buhler on the floor. Seth Madron with the block, and it lands on the baseline, and Buhler will keep it. Seth Madron with a big-time block, and he has had all sorts of tough assignments and matchups not only tonight, but throughout this season. Now Jake Alexander will draw the defensive assignment of Drake Dick. Into the lane, Drake Dick had it for a moment, it hit off his head, and they are going to call a reach on Jake Alexander.
5-1 in fouls now. It's starting to get a little lopsided there on the scoreboard. It's kind of hanging down to the left. Actually, yeah, 5-1.
Jake Alexander picks up his second. Hernandez inbounds all the way up to the top for Matt Voth, who almost lets it go out of bounds, but grabs it right in front of the near sideline. 2 minutes left to go in the third. The Bullpups lead by 6. 32-26. Back to the right wing, Drake Dick dribbles back to the top as they run the weave. And that should have been a carry or a double dribble. They don't call it. Now Sam Pyle with a block on the 2 by Taryn Cook. Sammy Pyle giving him big minutes here in the third quarter. Here's Kyler Hoppus, works around a Sam Pyle screen. Hoppus from the free throw line, no good. And a rebound on the backside by Reed Scott. And now, ball's off the shoe of Drake Dick, who grabs the ball and slides for about 3 feet. And they will get the timeout on the bench next to us. So a timeout taken by the Crusaders with 1:33 left to go in the third. 32 McPherson, 26 Buhler. And they will keep this just a 30-second timeout. Steve, this is a frustrating game from the McPherson end because they just can't get anything going, and part of that is they don't get enough repetitive possessions because Buhler slows the game down so much. Where they have these possessions with 30, 40, 50 seconds in between, it's hard to get into an offensive rhythm that way.
Yeah, and they've taken Cody Stufflebean out of the game. He's not even in right now. I really thought this was a game Cody could go for 20 tonight, but they've done a good job. Anytime he gets it inside, there's about 3 guys with a hand on him, so Sammy Pyle, though, giving the Bullpups some really big minutes, as is Seth Madron.
1:33 left to go in the third, and the Bullpups lead by 6, 32-26.
And Jake has not scored in this quarter.
He has scored.
Oh, I'm sorry, the one we don't know for sure.
But they gave it to him on the stat.
Okay, that's what and there's a good defense by Max.
11 points for Jake Alexander, like Steve mentioned, 2 in this third quarter. Down to 1:28 left to go in the third. Matt Voth drives. Dishes off to Taryn Cook, who stops from 15. Drake Dick, open 3, leaves it short. Rebound for Jake Alexander. And now he almost gets his pocket picked from behind. Instead, they will call a foul on the Crusaders. Drake Dick was in the area, as well as Reed Scott, and Reed Scott will draw the foul. That is his first and team foul number 2.
And if there hadn't been a technical or a foul on that play, I think Coach Kinnamon might have just lost his mind. Sammy Pyle comes out, and Coach Kinnamon says, great job, and he did. Sam Pyle giving the Bullpups big minutes tonight.
Jake Alexander will run the point for this McPherson team, and that dishes it off for Seth Madron. Those 2, as well as Cody Stufflebean, Max Alexander, and Kyler Hoppus. As Chase Kinnaman's on the bench with foul trouble with 4. 1:05 left to go in the third, and the Bullpups lead by 6. Trying to beat this Buhler team for the 26th consecutive time. Dating all the way back to 1997. What do you think Seth Madron was doing in 1997?
He wasn't doing anything.
I think he was about 6 years away from birth.
Yeah.
Max Alexander on the left wing. Bullpups lead by 6, down to 40 seconds left to go in the third.
Max nearly got a 5 count. He didn't realize the count was on.
No, he was watching him. Seth Madron on the right wing. Bullpups now down to 30 seconds left in the third. They're trying to absorb some clock to get ready for quarter number 4. Already with a 6-point lead.
And they get the ball to start the fourth quarter.
Unless they get called for a jump ball here in the next 21 seconds.
Right.
Madron on the right wing, back to Hoppus up top. As the Bullpups will say, Buhler will match your slow-down game. Down to 12 seconds left in the quarter. Max Alexander up top, being defended by Isaiah Hernandez. Coach Kinnamon waits down to 7 seconds. Now calls the play. Max drives in, throws up a floater, shot's no good, and a block will be called underneath on the Crusaders. Max Alexander going to the free throw line for 2. We'll see who the foul is called on. It's on Reed Scott, his second.
Yeah, and I like that matchup. Max Alexander against the freshman Hernandez. I'm going to bet on Max pretty much every time when he gets the young freshman on him.
And Max was a little bit slow to get up, and he will go to the free throw line a little bit with a limp, and he'll have 2 free throws here with 5.4 seconds left in the third. 32-26, first free throw for Max Alexander off the back iron.
Yeah, I don't know,
he lit some pain after hitting the ground a little hard.
Yeah, because that wasn't his usual form, and now why is he even out there then? If he's that gimpy, he shouldn't be shooting the free throw, because he really had a big gimp right after missing that free throw.
Second one for Max Alexander to make it a 7-point game going into the fourth quarter, and he makes it.
And they're going to get him out, I think, because it doesn't. Wow, it's like he can't even hardly move, so he's going to the end of the bench. His limp is much more profound now.
5 seconds left in the third. Isaiah Hernandez at half court. Up to Drake Dick, right wing. Feeling pressure. He gets his three-pointer blocked at the buzzer. And that will do it for quarter number 3 inside the Roundhouse. McPherson leads Buhler 33-26 as we go to the fourth quarter. As the Bullpups try to hold on for their 26th consecutive win over their rivals from Reno County. Fourth quarter coming up next. Back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Bullpup Basketball, 96.7 FM KBBE. Start of the fourth quarter inside the Roundhouse as McPherson leads Buhler 33-26. Jim Joyner, Steve Sell, 96.7 FM KBBE, or for those of you listening at MidKansasOnline.com. Well, Steve, the way it's gone all season long, the Bullpups in a close game entering this fourth quarter, and if things trend like they have been the last couple of weeks, then they will play a phenomenal quarter and pull away, and that hopes to be the case here tonight.
Yeah, we just hope they don't have to play the rest of the way without Max Alexander. He got hurt right there at the end. And I can't tell if it's his leg or it's his foot. I'm thinking it's his foot, maybe.
Bullpups with the basketball to begin the fourth quarter in a 7-point lead. Kyler Hoppus, Jake Alexander, Seth Madron, Cooper Courtney, and Cody Stufflebean, the 5 on the floor. Trying to dump it down for Cody Stufflebean. They get it to him on the block. Cody going to work, steps in, left hand, too easy for the big man, and the finish at the rim. Cody Stufflebean with 6, and the Bullpups take the lead by 9.
Yeah, and they're just on the verge of making Buhler really speed up.
Isaiah Hernandez passes for Isaac LaShore, nearly travels. Back to the right baseline. Carson Schonoff drives, almost turns it over. Fighting for position, Terrence Cook, and then nearly travels. Cody Stufflebean pressuring him out, 28 feet away from the basket. Madron comes in for the help side. They double team and come away with a steal. And a timeout taken by Coach Kinnamon because he wanted to get it while they were on the floor and with a loose ball. And Coach Kinnamon, he was mad that he called it because immediately they got the possession back.
He's mad at himself, but Cooper Courtney really got on the floor, made a great play. And Bullpups score here, that changes the complexion. It's in the double digits, and Buhler cannot take their time like they have been.
Bullpups lead it 35-26, and this is their largest lead of the night at 9 points. And Steve, what do we continue to say? Number 1 is they've got to find ways to finish. Number 2, feed the beast the ball.
Yeah, 4 shots for Cody Stuff. Of course, he's only played 18 minutes, but they got him down low. There's no way Buhler can match up with him down low. He is just an absolute beast down there.
7:14 to go, and the Bullpups lead by 9, and they would love a big basket here to try and take control of this game.
And for one thing, they have to play man-to-man now, so that really favors the Bullpups.
The right wing, Jake Alexander. He has 11 points tonight. They dump it down to Stufflebean in the lane. Drop step, spinning into the lane. Stufflebean throws up a shot, and they will call a foul on the floor.
And I think he traveled and got away with it.
We're going the big man, Terrence Cook, for Buhler. And that is a tough matchup for Cook because Cody Stufflebean is just so strong.
And Ryan Swanson says he's traveling. Max Alexander still trying to walk it off.
Well, inbound up to the top of the circle for Jake Alexander. In the lane, Stufflebean. Back door. Cooper Courtney off the window and good. Cooper Courtney scores on the left block. Perfect offense for the Bullpups, and they have their first double-digit lead of the night.
And I still think Cooper Courtney's got a chance to be a really outstanding player before he's done in his career. He's a junior, but boy, you can just see the potential.
Bullpups lead 37-26. Isaiah Hernandez kicks into the left corner. Carson Schonoff back to the top. Right inside, steps in, back to Schonoff. Left corner, a 3. That one misses short, and a great rebound by Jake Alexander. Up the floor, Kyler Hoppus. They've got numbers. Here come the Bullpups from right to left. Dumps it into the lane. Stufflebean catches, kicks out right wing. Madron thought about a 3. Dribbles back out. Pulls up at the free throw line and back to Jake Alexander. He'll pump. Dribbles into the lane, draws contact, almost had the shot to go. That'll put Jake Alexander to the free throw line for 2 with 6:10 remaining and an 11-point lead.
And this is starting to look just like the last 2 games that the Bullpups have played. Big fourth quarters. They've already scored the first 4. You would think Jake will probably knock down 2. That'd be a 6-0 start to the quarter. And remember, it was 20-7 in the quarter the other night. And in the El Dorado game, I can't remember, but the Bullpups scored something like 25 or 26 points in the fourth quarter.
Jake Alexander 3 for 3 at the free throw line tonight. As he knocks down the first, he has 12 points. The Bullpups have been good as a team tonight at the line as well, 7 out of 9. Second one coming up for the senior Jake Alexander, and knocks it down. Jake with 13 for number 13, and the Bullpups lead by 13, 39-26.
And this was a 24-24 game at one point.
What is that, a 15-2 run? Courtney with a steal. He dives on the floor to keep it alive. Jake Alexander, wonderful pass up the floor, and a finish with the left hand for Max Alexander. Great vision from the senior to the sophomore. Buhler leaks to the other end. Drake Dick throws up a shot. It's blocked by Cody Stufflebean, but a foul is called, and that'll put Dick to the free throw line for 2. But the Bullpups, at the beginning of these fourth quarters, Steve, it's like they crank it up a notch. They go from first or second gear and flip it all the way down into fourth, and they put the gas down.
It's like a cat toying with a mouse. They let them hang around for 3 quarters, and they decided it's time to get serious. But like Coach Kinnamon says, we're really not good enough this year to, have that kind of mentality. But, boy, I'll tell you, Jake coming out of the game to get one last blow.
Drake Dick misses the first free throw, and as good of a three-point shooter as he is not a very good free throw shooter at 50% on the season, 14 of 28, and he knocks down the second one, so 50% there.
Well, he's too close. 15-footer is too close for him. He's a great three-point shooter.
Drake Dick has 12 points for the Crusaders tonight, 41-27, 5:40 to go. Jake Alexander getting one last breather as Chase Kinnamon comes into the game for the first time since very early on in the second half. Max Alexander drives the baseline, kicks out left corner, they'll swing it around. Chase Kinnamon from the top of 3, that's no good. Offensive rebound, Cody Stufflebean goes back up with it, and a man-sized rebound for the big man. 8 points for Cody Stufflebean, and the Bullpups lead by 16.
God, he's strong. He is so stinking strong. It's like he's going to squeeze the air out of the basketball.
He takes a Buhler Crusader, does a power clean, and then lifts him over his head and bench presses at the same time.
He did.
Down to the left corner for Jaden Shamley. We haven't seen much of him tonight for the Crusaders. Bounce pass up top is dangerous. They get into the hands of Drake Dick. A step back, deep, 3, spins in and out. Rebound tipped out to the perimeter. Max Alexander on a 2-on-1 break. Chase Kinnamon absorbs the contact. He's fouled, and will go to the free throw line for 2.
He ran through that defender like he ran through the Crusader defenders in football this season. They couldn't stop the bus. He was a runaway freight train.
Kinnamon will step to the free throw line for 2. Team foul number 6 on the Crusaders in the second half. That will be called on Drake Dick. That's his second. First free throw from the bus is up and good.
And all of a sudden, this game, Kinnamon makes this. We're at 18 points. Courtney, I'm telling you what, he might be my player of the game. He's made so many key plays getting on the floor after loose balls.
Courtney gets a big high five from Coach Kinnamon on the bench. Second free throw for Chase Kinnamon. Off the back iron, no good. Offensive rebound, too easy on the putback by Jake Alexander. He kept it alive. Buhler was running back to the other end, and Jake scores. He's got 15, and the lead is 19.
We got to find a way to play the other 3 quarters like we've been playing the fourth quarter.
And a timeout is taken by the Crusaders and Coach Swanson. A full timeout. 4:35 left to go. McPherson 46, Buhler 27. Back in 30 seconds. Listening to Bullpup basketball on 96.7 FM KBBE. McPherson on the boys' side leads Buhler 46-27. They look to make it a sweep here tonight. The Bullpup girls already with a 62-27 lead. And Steve, there's something about these fourth quarters for the McPherson boys where they are fourth quarter warriors and just find ways to turn it on at the very end of games. Going into the fourth quarter, this was a 7-point game, and then you look up, and they have now turned this into a 19-point game with 4:35 to go.
It's comfortable now because, let's face it, Buhler doesn't have a lot of scoring proficiency, but it starts on the defensive end. That's where it all starts.
Bullpups on the defensive end here with 4:35 to go out of the Buhler timeout. The Crusaders need answers, and they need them quickly. 4.5 to go, and the Bullpups leading by 19. And this has been one of the problems for this Buhler team this year, is just not being able to score enough points. And that might be their problem here tonight on a night where the Bullpups will likely score underneath their average of 59 a game. Taryn Cook is going to be called for a travel as Cody Stufflebean came out and applied the great defense, and Taryn Cook was in the middle of his jump shot, decided he wanted to dribble.
Yeah.
4:16 left to go, 46-27, the Bullpups lead. And trying to hang on here and knock off their rival Crusaders for the 26th consecutive time. One at the back door for Jake Alexander. Now a hold to be called on Buhler, and that is team foul number 7. Jake Alexander was running to the basket. They foul him, and he'll go to the free throw line for a 1-and-1. So Jake Alexander has a 1-and-1 opportunity here as Colivine McDowell will pick up the foul for the Crusaders. That's his first. Jake Alexander's been very good at the line tonight. 4 for 4 with 15 points. Max Alexander with 10. Cody Stufflebean with 8. First of the one-on-one free throws is no good. He gets his own miss again. Jake drives in and had a chance at a layup, and he is fouled and will go to the free throw line for 2. Back-to-back times, Jake Alexander with offensive rebounds on free throws, and he'll go back to the line this time for 2. Foul's called on Colivine McDowell again. Jake Alexander gets a second chance at the stripe. First one for the senior is good.
It is just hard to believe that about 15 minutes ago we were very nervous. Because it was 24-24, and now it's 47-27, so what a run this is.
6 for 7 at the free throw line is Jake Alexander. He has 17 as he knocks down both. 4 minutes to go, and the Bullpups lead by 21.
How about a 24-3 run?
That can be the difference in games. Colivine McDowell stops and tries one from 15 feet. That one misses way short. Rebound, Jake Alexander. And he'll give this one off back into the hands of Max Alexander, and Max has sure played tough tonight. It is hard sometimes the way that he gets beat up like he does to stay in the game. Now a backdoor pass for Kyler Hoppus is just a little bit too strong. This one will go back to the Crusaders. But Max Alexander was in some big-time pain and stayed in the game and stayed tough here tonight.
I still think it was his foot. I was worried he did something to the inside of his foot.
Still a little bit limping out there, but playing through the pain, he's been very tough this season. Isaiah Hernandez passes to the right wing. Then they dump it down to the block. Great recovery defense by Jake Alexander to take the ball away from Taryn Cook. 3:15 to go. Bullpups lead by 21. Stufflebean loses his dribble for a moment. Backdoor, Jace Kinnamon dumps it back off the lane. Kyler Hoppus kicks it out left wing. Jake Alexander a 3, and it is good! Jake Alexander with 20 points, and the Bullpups lead by 24.
This could end up being running clock.
51-27.
It was a tied game with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Reed Scott dribbles on the right wing. The Crusaders need an answer badly. Back to the top, Isaiah Hernandez dumps it off. Drake Dick, open 3. You can't leave him that open. As he knocks it down, he's got 15.
That's the first basket in the fourth quarter at the 2:42 mark.
Drake Dick with 15 of the Crusaders' 30 here tonight. 51-30. Jace Kinnamon loses his dribble, but kicks it out to the left corner on accident with his shin. Back into the lane, Stufflebean kicks it out, Max Alexander. And now Jake Alexander nearly gets shoved into the locker room, and he'll go to the free throw line for a 1-and-1. There was a little bit of tussling underneath, and Colivine McDowell just shoved him nearly up the tunnel.
Jake, I got him for 9 in the quarter. He had 9 in the second quarter. So he's been kind of a hit-and-miss type night. I think he had 3 in the third quarter.
Jake Alexander will go to the line for another 1-and-1. The last here is Buhler's up to 9 fouls. Max Alexander will check out. Seth Madron will check in. And the first one for Jake Alexander, who has 20 points tonight, gets the sweet, sweet roll. He is 7 out of 8 at the free throw line, and Jake really had some struggles early on this year at the free throw line and just couldn't seem to get those late game free throws to go. But the last 5 or 6 games, Jake has been perfect, and speaking of perfect, nothing but net.
23-point lead for the Bullpups. Who would have thought that at halftime?
53-30 with 2:20 left to go.
Maybe it was that dance routine Jake did at halftime, got him limbered up, and he was, I tell you, he was high-stepping, or guy-stepping, I think is what they call it.
Right wing for Isaac LaShore, wanting to drive. He's the team's leading scorer, and he has been held in check with 4 points tonight. Now a little 15-footer from Colivine McDowell, and he scores to make it 53-32, 2 minutes to go. Bullpups will send in the reserves here at the next dead ball with now 1:50 left to go. Jace Kinnamon dribbles to the left wing. Up top for Kyler Hoppus as they slow down in the offense here and try and hold on for win number 13 of the year. And that's the important thing right now, is keeping pace with everybody in the rest of 5A West. And by keeping pace, you win. Seth Madron kicks out to the left wing for Jace Kinnamon. Back up top, Jake Alexander. Head fake, drives to the basket. Right-handed scooping shots, no good, but a charge is called anyway. So back to the other end as Jake will pick up his 3rd personal foul. Team foul number 7, but no free throws coming up here. Cooper Courtney, Sam Pyle, and Jake Alexander will check in for Jake Alexander, Kyler Hoppus, and Cody Stufflebean.
Adam Elliott and Eli Pyle now going to come in, so nope, they didn't get there inside. 1:25 left to go. Bullpups leading by 21, 53-32. Into the game for the Crusaders is Brian Suarez, 5'9" senior for the first time, and now a travel will be called on Suarez down on the right block.
Adam Elliott, Eli Pyle in with 1:16 to go. Elliott and Eli Pyle playing in their 6 games of the season. Jayton Alexander has played in 7.
I wish I could grow a beard like Adam Elliott.
He has one heck of a beard.
That guy's got a good-looking beard.
I think he's got it trimmed up tonight, too.
He does, yeah. He's a physical dude.
1:11 left to go, and a great shooter, too. Jayton Alexander stops on the left wing, dumps it off. They get it back to him on the left block, turning around, trying to kick it out to Adam Elliott. Down to 1 minute left to go. Jayton stepping in, stops in the lane. He's made 1 basket this season, and Buhler will tip a pass that goes out of bounds in the corner. 54 seconds remain. 53-32.
Bullpups have given up 15 points in this half, 6 in the quarter.
Eli Pyle inbounds in the left wing for Jayton Alexander, and too far on the left wing as his heels were on the sideline.
Very late call, but I think it was probably the right call.
51.7 seconds left, 53-32 McPherson.
I tell you, the Bullpups will not be able to do this up at Free State. They're going to have to ramp it up when they go up to Lawrence on Saturday.
Isaac LaShore going to work on Sam Pyle, steps in, and a big-time block from Sam Pyle. He'll throw it up the floor for Jayton Alexander with 35 seconds left.
Bullpups may not even take another shot.
And there's the punctuation mark to the night as Sam Pyle playing one of his best games of the season tonight as well. And Isaac LaShore will now steal a pass and dribble down to the other end. LaShore lays it in with his right hand and scores. So he will probably finish with 6 unless he can do that again. 53-34 with 15 seconds remaining. And the Bullpups will hold on for the final 10 seconds now.
26 straight against the Crusaders. That is really hard to believe when you consider how many good teams Buhler has had down through the years.
McPherson wins it 53-34. It wasn't perfect again, but this McPherson team always finds a way to do it in the 4th quarter. The Bullpups improved to 13-4 on the season. They've won 5 games in a row, 13 of their last 14, and 67 in a row against their rivals, or against ABCTL Division III teams. And like Steve mentioned, 26 straight against the Buhler Crusaders. Final score, McPherson 53, Buhler 34. Bullpups win. Bullpups win. The Bullpups win it, and Steve Sell, the recipe these last 3 or 4 games has been play with the other team for 3 quarters.
Yeah.
Then in the 4th quarter, ramp up the energy and pull away to win. They did that tonight, outscoring Buhler 20-8 in the 4th quarter. Maybe for the rest of these 3 games in the regular season and beyond, they can make it a little easier and balance out this energy for 4 quarters instead of 1.
Well, I tell you, the way they play in the 4th quarter, they can beat anybody. Those first 3 quarters are kind of interesting. Again, you want to see the team trending up. And I think tonight they kind of went, they were kind of neutral because their defense was really, really good. They just didn't play well offensively until the 4th quarter.
McPherson wins it 53-34. Jake Alexander finishes with 22 points tonight. Max Alexander with 10 and 8 points for Cody Stufflebean. Kyler Hoppus finishes with 4, and those happened very fast early on in the first half. 2 points for Cooper Courtney, 4 points for Jace Kinnamon, and then 3 for Sam Pyle off the bench. Steve, the Bullpups continue to win against ABCTL Division III teams, and this year in comparison to some of the other recent years, it's been a little more difficult, but they always find a way to do it.
Yeah, they've had some really tough times in Division III this year, and we've gotten kind of used to nothing but, 5 cakewalks, or I should say 10 cakewalks, because let's face it, the other Division III teams have not really provided much competition in recent years, but this year they've gotten better, and we're maybe a little down compared to what we've been, so made for some really good games.
Final score tonight on the boys' side, McPherson wins 53-34. We'll step aside and come back on our CHS Refinery at McPherson postgame show in 3 minutes. Listening to Bullpup basketball on 96.7 FM KBBE.